Okay, hello and welcome back from Istanbul, Turkey. I'm kind of walking the streets right now, and this video is going to be kind of about my first impressions of the city. And so I could tell you right now, it's a maze here. I'm just kind of walking around for the past 6 hours, and yesterday I arrived. And that's all I did was just walk around for hours. And so now I'm just trying to get a feel for the city. And for about the 5 or 6 hours that I have been walking around, I still don't have a feel for the city, but I just know it is really chaotic here. A lot of one-way streets, and I can't seem to you can find whatever you're looking for really on any street that you walk down. Google Maps to me has been a lifesaver so far, but basically it's just like any major city. You can really find anything you're looking for. And so I don't think you really have to veer far from your accommodation in order to find what you're looking for. But as a tourist, just walking around and seeing the different things and seeing the lifestyle and the locals and the shops and the food, things like that. So right now, I guess my first impression is it's a very big, chaotic city, and like I said, it's like a maze in here. It's very loud on the streets, a lot of people walking by, a lot of cars. But I think if you just stick with Google Maps, I don't think you're going to really have any issues dealing with getting from point A to point B. Now, you can get sidetracked if you keep turning off side roads and other things, so it's something to get used to, that's for sure. But the smells and the sounds is basically like any big city, and Turkey's kind of unique for this, especially in Istanbul. So yeah, I'm just going to continue walking around. I'm going to head down. I'm not really sure where I'm going to head. I'm just going to walk around today and just kind of get a lay of the land. So we seem to be more in like a residential area. I guess I don't even know what kind of district to say. It seems like you could get like a lot of hardware stuff here, power tools, fittings, plumbing equipment, electrical equipment. This is all really just down by the water here in Istanbul. So the next thing I just want to talk about, and I know usually I tell you guys that I walk everywhere, and I do. I walk everywhere I go. But this being such a big city, that you have to think about taking transportation at times too, whether it's going to be the metro, the buses, the tram, the trolley, or cabs. There's no shortage of any of them. Anywhere in the city you go, you can find 1 million taxis sitting around or driving around. It looks to me like half the cars out here are yellow cabs. So you can find them pretty much anywhere. The thing is, what I did want to talk about, and it didn't surprise me, it's just a takeaway, is that in order to get on it, you need what's called an Istanbul cart. And it's basically a card that you put money on, and it's good for the buses, the trains, the subway, basically everything except for the cabs. But you can use it for all those things, but you have to put money on it. And at this time, when you come to Istanbul, they give you what's called an HES code. It's basically like a health code to know where you've been. It's their way of kind of tracing you around the city and letting you know if you've been in a high risk area or not. And so I think this is the end of the road for me. Yeah, it is. And so so you have to connect that HES code, and the HES code you're going to get even before you get here. You have to fill out a form with the government then they'll send you what's called an HES code. And then you apply your HES code to your Istanbul card. That way when you get on the bus or metro or anything, they know that you're not contaminated, you haven't been in a contaminated area. It's a little bit confusing at first because the system is down right now, so I can't even connect mine. So I'm waiting like a couple hours yet, and then I'm finally going to be able to connect it. So once it's finally connected, then it's no issue whatsoever to use basically whatever you want as far as public transportation to get from one end of the city to the other. But I just wanted to say, this is going to seem very obvious for a lot of people, but public transportation here is in abundance. Now the walking, when you walk around, it's not that bad either. The streets are very walkable here. In fact, a lot of people are walking around. I've gone all the way from my Airbnb, which is in Shishli, down to like the Bosphorus, so I don't even want to speculate on how far that is, but it's been quite a hike, and I've probably been walking now for about 5 or 6 hours, maybe about 5 hours, and that's just today. That's not even including what I was walking yesterday. But if you're a person that likes to just experience the city by foot, it's definitely something you can do as well. That's my preferred choice of getting around a city. But yeah, if you wanted to use, I mean, you can see all these buses, and this isn't even like the bus station. So public transportation all over the place. Should use it, it's cheap. When I got here yesterday, I took it's like an airport shuttle bus, and it brought me into Taksim, which is a very busy neighborhood, one of the most busier neighborhoods in Istanbul. And I think I paid $4, and that's like a 35-minute bus ride to get here. And then from Taksim to get to Shishli, where my Airbnb is, I took a cab, and that cab only cost me, I think, like two and a half US dollars. So transportation here is cheap, so if you want to get from one end of the city visiting all the historic sites, it's definitely cheap to get around. But just so you know that it is very walkable as well too. You can pretty much get anywhere on foot. Just make sure to have nice shoes, because like I was saying before, there's a lot of hills here, and so your legs and feet are going to get a lot of exercise. So that's my other takeaway. Onward and upward, and I mean that literally now, because I'm going to be heading up into the city again, so it's going to be a lot of hill climbing. Okay, now we're down by the Bosphorus. This is probably going to be really loud because we're on a busy street down here, but one thing I wanted to mention is how hilly everywhere you go here, you're walking up and down hills. The traffic is horrible. You really can't go anywhere without stopping for traffic, and it's definitely not the case here where pedestrians have the right of way, because cars will, you know, come right in front of you and whatnot. But so I walk most of the time anyway. But this whole city is just filled with hills. Obviously, when you're making your way down, it's not just the cars, it's the people too. Which is okay, it's a crowded city. It's the most populated city in Europe. So anyway, so it's one of my first takeaways from visiting here for less than a day now, is how many hills there are here. It's incredible. Everything's a hill. So I'm just going to continue walking down the Bosphorus now and seeing what else I can find. I'm going to make my way to the Galata Tower. I'm not sure if I'm that's going to be part of this video or not, because this is kind of my first impressions. Another first impression is that if you're a foodie, there are so many different options to eat here. You got everything. Turkish food, obviously, around every corner. You name it, you can find it. Greece food, Italian food, Turkish food, Middle Eastern food, American food, German food, you name it. You can find pretty much anything you want. So, and not just the food, but items in general, like I mentioned before. There's just so much to offer, but the amount of food here, it's around every corner, 30-40 of them on every little block street. So it's kind of neat to see. It just kind of makes you hungry as you're walking around all day. So we're gonna just continue to bomb around here and burn some calories and explore the city and just kind of see the things that are new to me here in Istanbul.
Yağmur yağdı mı? Yağmur. Allah razı olsun. Çok yağdı değil mi? Evet. Allah razı olsun. Abi beni arabayla köye getiriyor.
Okay, I just kind of came from the Galata Tower and I'm walking back upward again, one of the hills that we're used to and that I'm getting used to, I should say. Another thing came into my mind here which kind of surprised me about Istanbul is, in a way, it kind of reminds me of the United States, where they really love to show off their flags here. You can see a Turkish flag pretty much down every single street you go, just like in America. You got American flags all over the place. And it's about nationalism, I understand that, but it's different for me coming from, you know, Mexico and Albania, where they had the flags up, but here it's just, they're all over the place. There's banners going up and down, and these are pretty much on a lot of the streets down here. And then also you can see like big flags like that behind me. So they kind of, like, in a way for me, very proud, like people from the United States are. They love to show off their colors and their patriotism to their country. I guess I'm not really shocked by it. I think people should be proud of their country and show off their flag. It's just that some countries do and some countries don't. And Turkey definitely does. Can see that. I mean, look at that. And then right behind me, all the banners of the Turkish flag just everywhere. And it's not like I'm just using this shot or videoing this right now because there's lots of flags around. It's like this on a lot of streets. Like you can see going down this street over here, there's more flags and banners up. So they love to showcase the Turkish flag around here. And obviously I have no issue with it. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's just an observation, really. I think it's kind of cool. Everywhere you go, you can really never forget where you are. So yeah, it's been a nice little walking day so far. I think I'm gonna make my way back. It's about the mid-afternoon. You know, for all the hills and all the walking that you do in this city, it's, you know, the beginning of September, and I'll tell you that I'm not sweating at all like I did in a lot of my Albania vlogs. It's very comfortable, like a really nice breeze, especially when I was down by the Bosphorus. I was kind of surprised at that. The weather here, I mean, you feel the sun, it's hot, but I'm just not losing a lot of water. I'm not sweating throughout my shirt, my clothes. I don't feel like I need to change. I'm not stinky and sweaty. So it's a very nice walking around this city and just kind of enjoying the weather on a hot day, but it's not uncomfortably hot. So we're gonna continue. I got some more hills to go up. As mentioned earlier, I don't have a problem with it. I'm getting a lot of good exercise in, and I'm kind of working up an appetite. So I did some grocery shopping last night, and that's another takeaway I can give to you here is the produce is very inexpensive here. I got my usuals, just like my, I like to get cabbage and peppers, lemons, tomatoes. I'll go home and make a nice salad. And yesterday for dinner I had a Caesar salad at a kind of a really nice restaurant, and it was only $4. So something like that, maybe like in the United States or maybe even the rest of Europe, might cost you around $8 or $9. But here turkey is very inexpensive, and that doesn't surprise me at all. That's part of the research that I did, that turkey was very inexpensive. So yeah, here we go. I'm going to continue making my way back to the Airbnb here and hopefully get a nice sunset maybe tonight. And if it is, I'll document it. So yeah, let's get going. Okay, as I'm walking around now, just kind of getting back to where I started here. Again with the heavy foot traffic and regular traffic, so it might be loud, you might not be able to hear me. So I want to go back on the lines of talking about how inexpensive things can be here. So I stopped twice today and got something to drink just to stay hydrated, and both times I stopped I got a tea and a bottle of water. Both of those times I paid less than $1 US each time, so around 75 cents, and that's for a glass of Turkish tea and a bottle of water. So you can just kind of see how inexpensive things were, and so that's definitely a surprise to me. Checking out beer prices here. There's not too many bars here. There's a lot of cafes, but so that's kind of a first impression of what I've seen so far is the inexpensiveness of the drink. So if if you're getting parched as you're walking through the city, it's definitely a good idea to get something to drink because you're not going to break the bank by doing so. So I think this is going to end it for today. Like I said, I'm getting close back to my apartment now. I'm going to make something to eat. I just kind of want to give you a little dry run of what to expect here in Istanbul, of my first impressions. So I hope you got a little bit better of understanding through my perspective of what you can expect when you first arrive to Istanbul. Obviously, I'm new, and the more I walk around and experience the city, the more knowledge I'm gonna have to give you guys. But I just want to give you a little bit of my first impressions of the city. So thanks for watching today, and I'll grab some more B-roll on the way back, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. So take care, guys. Goodbye from Istanbul.